No thanks needed, Sam. We must always share our blessings with others.
We sacrifice for the liberty of strangers.
I am my brother's keeper. I am my sister's keeper.
It's said all men are tied together. Have you asked yourself what this would mean? Do you want your labor conscripted for the benefit of anyone on earth? Consider the wide range of human personality types. Some people get themselves swept up in the mood of a mob, letting it guide them to do violence. Some people have done horrible things while thinking they had a crowd's approval. There are people who by themselves are vicious. Some people, inadvertently helped by others, will be malicious. People whose only happiness comes from ridicule of others. Some people pretend to be helpful, yet bring misfortune on others. And then, having led those other people to bad results, they take advantage of their victim's misfortune, letting themselves benefit from the damage they caused. This type of person is a user, someone who will ride over the victims he makes. Steer clear of them. And yet there are people who feel distress when another human being suffers, who empathize and want to help. Now something to be applauded. There are people who will risk their own lives to save the life of someone they love, the value of that other person being so high that for them the risk is worth it. With such a range of human types, it's legitimate for a person to be willing to help some particular people and yet be dead set that his actions not even indirectly help some specific other person. In Ayn Rand's novel Atlas Shrugged, one businessman hero realizes that it is the type of people who benefits from his work which makes the difference whether all his hard work was worthwhile. He doesn't want his work to benefit scoundrels. The heroes of Atlas Shrugged make agreements with each other. They obtain and provide by trade. Their interaction is voluntary. As Ayn Rand said,
"Man is not a lone wolf, and he is not a social animal. He is a contractual animal."
Teamwork is ideal for tasks which would overwhelm one person working alone, as it lets two persons trade their efforts. Both benefit, even if one party shirks his share of the work. Considering the disadvantages of working alone on some tasks, a productive person might overlook some shirking rather than work alone, lest he suffer the consequences, such as here, long-term bodily damage, painful to remedy. Some egalitarians believe that if some people can be helped by others in a given task, all other persons should be drafted into helping them. That's not so. It remains the case that no matter how many people become involved, trading of labor should be by agreement. And that means respecting the person who takes his time coming to a decision. A committee may think a person ideal for wielding a pick, but he may reject the task for good reason. It's said no man is an island, yet some could flourish on one. Just as people differ in their character and morals, so too do they differ in their mechanical ability, their inventiveness, their resourcefulness. Were a society to find itself in the world of horror films, where citizen mobs must hunt down monsters among the populace, where vampires can pass unnoticed, otherworldly beings abduct women from their beds and attack them, then a lot of people would want to flee society, perhaps realizing what would constitute a better one. Where a society is most strongly influenced by its most rational people, The cooperation among people can bring forth complex enterprises that employ multitudes at tasks they would not be able to contract to do in one-on-one trades, thereby letting people work at just the task they are best able to do. There's no room here for users, and employers and employees alike can ostracize users. Whether one lives among abundance and safety or in the equivalent of a horror film, each person gets to decide whether to exercise the right each person has always had to withdraw from society and go live on a deserted island, joined only by those who agree to come together.
Man is not a lone wolf, and he is not a social animal. He is a contractual animal.